And we're good. So, hi, this is Anthony with Forged by Geeks and my wife Nicole. And we've been playing this game called Kung Fu Combo that we got from a guy by the name of Ben, who's been working on it for a little while. He's going to Kickstarter sometime in the middle of October to late October, is what he was telling me. So, what we're aiming to do today is just to give you a little bit of a rundown on what it is like playing Kung Fu Combo and how to do so. So that hopefully, if you get your hands on it, you'll know how to play it.
Yep.
So,
Okay, so the basics of Kung Fu Combo are combos. So basically, as you're playing the game, there's two sides. There's the attacker and the defender. So the attacker at the beginning of the game starts with 4 cards. The defender starts with 5. When the attacker plays, they can play 1 or more cards. However, if they play more than 1 card, their card has to form some sort of combo. There are several types of combos available. So one of these is the color combo. So this 1 and 4 that are green are an example of that. Another type.
So they actually just, all it is you have 1 or more, or you have 2 or more cards that share a color, nothing else.
Then you have the number combo, which is the cards share a number. You have a sequence combo, like this one, which is 6, 7, and 8. Note this, and then there's another type of combo, which is the double combo. A double combo is a number of cards in a sequence of the same color.
So 2 or more, so you can have as small as 2 or as many as 5. The sequence combo also, like this 6, 7, 8, you can also wrap around the 0 as you see there, and that applies even if the colors don't match. And now, a note about the double combo, the 901 or whatever you happen to do, if you happen to be able to attack with 5 cards that are both sequence and color, and they're not, or no, they can't even be blocked. It's an unblockable attack and you just win.
Yes. One other thing is that there are these dragon attack cards. This is an example of one of them, and these can basically fill in for a different card. However, the important thing about these cards is that they can't be blocked. There's no way to block a dragon attack card. If I said, oh yeah, I've got a 901 here to basically, convince you that I have a combo, because I do, then this card out of these 3 cards could not be blocked. It's not a 0. Like, it counts as a 0, but it doesn't count as a 0 for the purposes of defending. There's no way to block it from that perspective. So,
and then, in addition, there's the opposing card, which is the Dragon Defense card. Now, the interesting thing about the Dragon Defense card is it can block anything. Now, we haven't explained blocking yet, but basically how blocking works is, let's say, for example, that Nicole had attacked me with this set, the 6, 7, 8 combo. So let's say
I try to drag them off the screen.
Yes. So let's say she attacked me with the 6, 7, 8, or a cat. And let's say I'd had a certain number of cards. So one of the things that we would have to do is have a cat. Cats are great for blocking. So one of the things that we would have to do is try to block each of those. Now, the ideal situation is to actually break up the sequence. So I could either block the 6 here, which would take that away, but she'd still have a sequence of 7 and 8. Now, just because I took off the 6 does not suddenly make that a double combo for the 7 and 8. It's only whatever you initially lay down. Now, if I take off the 6, she would still get the 3 points of damage, plus the bonus 1 for each because it's still a sequence. But if I could block the 7, she now would only get the 1 point for each of them, unless I also block one of those cards.
Yeah, because they're no longer a combo.
Yeah, I destroyed the combo. Whereas if you take something like this 444, if you block just any one of the cards, the other 2 remain a combo. You would have to successfully block 2 of them to remove the combo effect. Similarly, if you launch with a double combo, if one of the end cards is blocked, it still remains a combo with the other card. But the interesting thing with the double combo is it can be reduced to one of its individual combos. So if you block the 0, this still counts as a color combo. So if this still went through, you'd get the 3 points plus the bonus 1 for each card. Whereas if the full double combo went through, this would be the 4 points that you see, plus a bonus 2 for each since you have 2 combos overlaid. So
exactly.
That instead of just 4 points, you would actually get 10 points out of that.
Now, there is one way to completely nullify damage, which is you play a dragon defense card. That's basically from a defensive purpose. You just need to play that and you won.
Yeah.
Nothing happens to you.
That'll block anything with the exception of the combo I was talking about before where you have 5 matching colors and in sequence. But that's really hard to do.
Yeah, and also I believe the rules specify that it can only contain one dragon attack card, that you can't have multiples in it.
That's correct. So you can't throw a bunch of wild cards and suddenly get a full indestructible combo.
Yeah.
Now, how it generally works is how you'll play is...
Well, how do you block?
How do you block? So how you block is you have to basically match the number. Now, what that means is in 2 ways. So you can either, do I have a good example here? No. So you can either block 1-to-1 on the number. So let's say these were the attack cards. I had this 4, I could block either one of those cards with it and just immediately put them in the discard. And I handled that, and then the only other card remains. The other alternative to blocking is, let's say this was the attack and this was my hand. So I've got this 9-0-1, I'm attacked by the 6-7-8. I don't have any matching numbers. Well, this is where you can do some math. So if you wanted to block the 8, you can do 9 minus 1 equals 8, and that'll block it. Likewise, if I was being attacked by, let's say, this 4 and 1, I could do 0 plus 1 blocks the 1.
Of course, you'd only do the 1 card in that case. But,
for
an example, you can add these together. Actually, a better example is 0 minus 9.
Yeah, 0 minus 9.
Is actually 10. You can use the 0 as a 10 if you would like.
Yeah, for the purposes of math. Now, you can only ever combine 2 cards for the purposes of blocking, but you could do that multiple times. So, if you had, say, a 7 out here, and these were my cards, I could also block the 7 with the 1 plus 8, or 8 minus 1.
Yeah.
So you can throw down multiples to accomplish the block.
The biggest problem that you have is after you finish defending with your cards, that's what you've got left to attack. So if you play 4 cards to defend, you've only got 1 card left to attack with.
Now, we'll just play a quick round just to show kind of general orders of operations. So let's say Nicole happened to roll, or whatever was determined to be first player. I would deal out to her the 4 cards. So she'd get those 4 cards, and then for myself as the defender, I would get 5 cards. The remaining would just go in the center. We would pick up our cards, and now Nicole would look through her cards and decide what she's going to attack with. There you go.
So I have a couple of options here. I could either try to do a number combo using these cards, or a color combo using these cards. In general, like, this is going to be more powerful, right? So I'd probably lay out these as my attack. So that's 2, 5, and 9.
Okay, and then she would keep this 2 in her hand, so we'll move that off the screen.
Yes.
So now this is the attack that she would put out. It would be visible to me. At this point, I've got my hand that I'm looking through. Now this card is the attack variant, so that's not going to be useful to me. So I'm just going to pull that away. So now I've got to try to break this combo. Now that's a color combo, so I need to block at least 2 of the cards to be effective. So the obvious first block would be use the 9 and eliminate the 9. So now that would go into the discard. Then I could look over this, and I just happen to have 2 plus 3 equals 5, and I block that, and that goes away. So now that's what I would have left. The 6 isn't useful, so I'd pull that back into my hand. Now I didn't have to show her those cards, we're just using that for demonstration. And the 2, I would take 1 point of damage, because the 1 red symbol there. At this point, I now become the attacker. But the important thing is, I only get to keep whatever cards I had left. So I have my all-purpose attack card and a yellow 6.
Now, the important thing for the attacker is I had this 2 left, right? It looks like kind of a weak card overall, right? So I might discard it.
You can only, as attacker, you can only freely discard 1 card before you draw back up to your full 5 defense cards.
Yes. So at that point, I would have 5 defense cards, and then Tony could attack me.
Yeah, and now in this case, I would attack with this. But now this is going to be a double combo. So I can either do a 5 of yellow with 6, or I can do A 7 of yellow with the 6 of yellow.
But it actually doesn't matter.
Well, it can matter if you. I mean, if you had.
It matters only if not in a 2-card combo. It'd matter if it was more.
No, it can matter in a 2-card. Oh no, wait.
No, it can't.
No, it doesn't really. Yeah,
No.
never mind. Ignore me. She's smarter with math than I am.
And then I play my Dragon Defense card,
which would block it entirely.
Yeah.
So that's a quick example of how a hand flows, and then these cards would go away, those would go away, and now I would draw back up to the 5, and we'd rinse repeat until one of us was out of health.
There is one thing that we forgot to mention about blocking, however.
Okay.
So let's say that Tony had this 2 out, right? And I only have this 7 and 5, which would never happen. But let's say that I had the 7 and 5, right? That's a bad example, actually.
Why?
Because I want an example where it spins. But in any case, okay, I can use this as an example anyways. So even though you could do 7 minus 5, right?
Oh.
You could also do 7 plus 5, at which point it becomes a 2.
Or it becomes a 12, which means you shave off the 1 at the front and it becomes a 2 de facto.
Exactly. So just as a note.
Yeah. So additive can roll over 10, and whatever is the remainder number becomes what's important.
A better example would be a 6 and a 6, because there's no way that you could block a 2 with that, except by adding the 2 of them together and getting 12, and then shaving the 1 off the front.
Now, in addition, there is an optional component to the game. There are these master cards. They all have a slightly different ability that that it grants to whoever happens to get the card. We were just dealing these out randomly. We played a couple.
Though we effectively got all of them.
Yeah, we did. But we played with all 4 during our session video, which you can check out in the area between here and the comments that no one ever reads. We've got a link to the other video. That's our session video. If you want to see how the master cards play out. I felt like they're an interesting additive, but they didn't really impact balance too much.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely changed the game a little bit, and they're fun to play with. Like, one of the things was, when I was just reading it, I looked at the Leopard Master style, and I was like, if you play no defense cards, all attack cards do 1 less point of damage to you. And I'm like, man, this is lousy, right? Like, who would want to use this? And it saved me against you.
Yeah, because
it was really surprising.
There were several times I could only play 1 card that did 1 damage, and she was just like, fine, I'm not defending. Woo! Yeah. I blocked the damage. So all of these definitely have a benefit, but they're not like game-breaking, which is something that I appreciated. There's definitely a little bit of extra luck factor that these bring into it, because if you get the matching color cards in general, by dumb luck as you're drawing up, these become a lot more powerful. But you could just as likely not get them. So I'm not too worried about that balance.
Yeah, and overall it works pretty well. Oh, one other thing is, everybody starts with 20 hit points.
Yep.
So we had dice. I don't know whether or not they're coming with the game or not.
I don't know. No, he included those when he sent them to me, but I don't know if the actual game will include those yet.
Okay. In any case, it suggests that you roll to determine who is going to start, and conveniently, if you're using D20s, they're excellent for tracking hit points because you can't gain hit points out of them.
Yep.
So...
Yep. So overall, that's how you play the game. If you have any questions, we've played enough of this at this point. Feel free to add some comments or whatever and let us know.
Did we cover the damage dealing, actually, though?
Yeah, we did.
We covered but we didn't, I'm not sure we covered the blood spots.
Oh, I did cover, so 1 blood spot is 1 point of damage, 2 blood spots is 2 points of damage. And
yeah, there are no cards that deal different. They're all either 1 or 2, and then you accumulate the combo on top of it.
But if you have any more questions for stuff that we either missed, didn't cover, or just was a little bit confusing, please let us know in the comments. We're more than happy to answer, or you can ping us on Twitter, Facebook, any of a number of places. And we'll be more than happy to help you through it. Yeah. I hope this was useful. Thank you very much.